basically do come back. A year and a half ago actually, I know exactly when it was, February 2023. In very deep and meaningful correspondence with one human being, writer. I'd seen one of her written pieces, not published. I started to make a few bits and bobs of attempting to be thoughtful video, which I've done over the years, now and again, here and there. Anyway, dual purpose. A kid, young, well, now 25. I just wanted to also leave. I mean, Britain, let me tell you one thing about Britain. Now, this I can say not just is a fact. I have 10 years of, sorry, it's a big grown-up word, chronicles as to exact conversations with various people who I've known, who are mothers or fathers. Basically, I work on the principle 2/3 the former, 1/3 the latter. Why? Because especially the last 5, 6, 7 years, you need real people. I would hope most people understand what that means. Real people. Those who are not prissy, who are going to do what needs doing and say what needs saying. You need real people doing things in society, and I'm afraid there are now so many. I have magnificent chronicles of nobody will listen to a man here anymore, which I don't care about in the slightest. Years ago as a Green, I realised straight away, you have to find practical solutions. You have to train up, as it were, or get inside the operation, even if the operation is getting a local Green councillor voted into a seat. But you have to assist people understanding the reality of the environment, and then, and this is not mansplaining or any, I happen to have spent a tremendous amount of my life in the environment, and I'm the only professional pilot ever who, when my daughter was born, basically, although I didn't actually do it literally, I stopped renewing my commercial pilot's license credentials, which basically have to be renewed every year. I gave back that license because I know that aviation, except for great big super economical aircraft, is not compatible with the future of my child. Anyway, so giving stories to younger Green people, but you've got to have 2/3 women, 1/3 men going forward. Why did I even say that? Yes. Now I've got a magnificent chronicle of that, for example. How truly difficult it is, because you cannot have, I'm afraid to say, a just simple ping-pong conversation in front of almost any British woman, especially those who make out that they're the Earth planet saviours. I've had a lot to do with many of them. Some of them who know I'm the real thing do actually respect me greatly, and I have great big long recorded chats with them saying so. Anyway, so yeah, do come back. Now, so it just so happens, now, I've no idea. You know, your technology is this bad. One of the things I do, because I need to keep, I have no particular end, but I need to keep my inbox pretty clean, because a few things come in. So I turned off YouTube notifications of subscribers and comments. I've never looked at the comments. I have no interest in what anybody else thinks, because I don't actually fully lay out exactly the quite simple purpose of just waffling, which could be considered an absurdist work of art or whatever. I've no interest in anybody's opinions, because I've done certain things and had quite a few really interesting Socratic type conversations, especially unplanned over the last year. So all I have to say is this. So yeah, so I began the or else Schism Bits of Video channel, merely to share a few bits of video with a couple of specific people. And one, yes, I know what I was going to say, because this is the reality of your country. Now, I've lived in a different area where I was well known as I would thoughtfully help half the people in my vicinity in a real mess with things like their very critical sickness benefits and that kind of thing, never for any money. And I didn't actually like these people. They got nothing in common with me. They don't walk, they just sit and moan and get fat, don't walk, but I would help them. And most of them had never even been in each other's kitchen. So, I know I'm not an ogre, but yes, one of the things, like, starting 12 or 13 years ago, I tried to find somebody from the few seemingly down-to-earth, intelligent, well-balanced mothers, and even a few Christians I know, with whom I could leave for safety things like pen drives with bits of video in to pass on down to my daughter. No judgment on her. One of the many young adults in this country, probably things not quite what they may seem in his head. Yeah, the amount now, I can actually list them. I would never name them, it's too shabby, but 7 or 8 over the last 15 years. Hey, would you be somebody who just keeps a bit of video? If I drop dead or I'm murdered by a farmer, because he knew, well, several of them knew I was the only person in my past region who actually may take forward a proper, rational, successful legal challenge against the polluting of the River Arrow. And when they know that you've actually achieved certain things, then all the rest, they laugh at. They laugh at all your, even the ones who are Green Party councillors now, they laugh at them. They're pathetic wet blankets. And they know who's the ones they've got to be fearful of. Why? That's not a boast, it's just a fact. I've been in situations. I've never even taken any actions. Anyway, to try and keep to the point. Yes, Britain is a country where you can't even rely on your supposed sort of almost best friend remembering, if I drop dead, I left a little pen drive put in the wall, jammed in the wall in a certain place. Now, so quite a few videos I just put up here in these still weird times. Here's chunks of video that is Dad wittering on about certain important things. Now, that's my business. I assumed a year ago, well, there'll only ever be 4 subscribers, and I'm not even going to look at who they are because I find all that quite disturbing. The technology doesn't even work. I mean, I blocked notifications from YouTube, and then every few months it starts to send them again. It's just absolutely hilarious how bad it is, and I've known this for years. I was the first ever internet bookseller in Hale Moray. I've known from then. It's an absolute dystopia. Anyway, I have no idea who nearly 400 subscribers are, and I've never said please subscribe or please share. I'm not even going to say it now, but if I have 1,000, I think it is, or 2,000 or 3,000, I mean, all I really care about is I've never had a penny of revenue of anything I've ever done online, ever. I don't think of it like that. If I get a little bit of revenue and can show £1,000 a month at some point, and I must start to write up a few things properly, which I've been intending to do for a long time, and even turn them into maybe short things that can be put on self-published, Amazon, whatever, however it works. Anyway, if I can get £1,000 a month, then, now that's not been my plan. My plan is only to communicate to several people that I've in person dealt with. Who you other 300 and whatever are, no idea, and I shall never look. But if there were a couple of thousand, I think that you start to qualify for a little bit of pathetic revenue ticking in. I have no interest, I don't know, and it is also tenuous. If I get it to 1,000, which is impossible, then I can maybe even apply for a digital nomad visa to settle in Croatia, where I shall continue being exactly the same person that I am. But here's the point. Why do come back? Because in the last year, unplanned, I've encountered... Now, you listen to things in the news, I've no idea who. For all I know, there's an internet site that says, oh, what are the number one most moronic, self-aggrandizing, insane people doing anything online, and I might be number one. I couldn't give a fuck, except Russell Brand should be above. Yes, if anybody is interested in the reality of our society, this is not even the Owen Jones version. Now, I've had a lot to do with grown-up journalists. Yeah, over the last year, I've had many conversations with those who kind of look after things like your local looked after child departments and all this kind of thing. Lots of school teachers. And we've chatted, we have the English and the European. We've chatted about the reality of teenagerhood, etc. And many of those I have recorded, and they're useful. They really are useful. And the contrast between the British and the European is so interesting. But I'm going to start putting some up soon. But everything takes time, because you've got to have quite a lot of time sat with your laptop plugged in to do anything like that. And I am going to do it soon.